Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Talking Triathlon podcast, where James Bale, the very sensibly dressed man across from me, talks triathlon with me, the less sensibly dressed man, Tim Ford, about triathlon. I think I might have already said that. It's early. Jimbo, mate, welcome back to the show. How you going? What's happening?
I'm all right, mate. This is not a sensible t-shirt. This is an old t-shirt. Just because it's got the sort of a semblance of a collar doesn't make me a sensible man.
Yeah, but even when you wear collared shirts, you've always got like floral patterns or, turquoise or like a very sensible blue polo shirt is just very,
I know.
it's a bit of a shock, to be honest.
I know. It was just something to wear under the jumper. It's fucking freezing over here at the moment, so I didn't really think about what I had underneath the jumper today, and then I realized I didn't need the jumper to record the podcast. Anyway, that's boring as fuck. How are you, man?
No, we have to say, because for people on YouTube, who, if you're not, you should definitely go and check us out on YouTube. But normally James has a myriad of different backgrounds behind him, and today it looks like quite an actually nice background compared to
It is a nice background.
some of the others
It
I've
is a
seen
nice
before in the
background.
past.
I need to give a shout out to Richard Metcalf, who is the chief executive officer of the Edgbaston Park Hotel, who back in July, mate, we were recording an episode and I was doing my standard moan about being in Birmingham city centre and having to stay in I think it was a Travelodge, because it's all I could get that night. And it was a repeating moan that I had. He reached out to me on Instagram and said, next time you're in Birmingham, I'll comp you a stay at the Edgbaston Park Hotel and give you a tour of the facilities. We're going for a run together tomorrow morning. And here I am. I called that favour in, mate, and I've got a much nicer room for the evening than I normally do in Birmingham. And I'm out in the city centre, a bit quieter.
Who says podcasting doesn't pay off, mate? Like, this is
Yeah,
the benefits.
there you go. But it is a really nice hotel, and they've got amazing sporting facilities. They've got 50-meter pool, all the gym stuff you could ask for. I like how enthusiastic you're getting, because it's zooming in on your face as I take you.
I spent far too much time trying to change that setting today and gave up. Well, Richard, you know what? We're always open to sponsorship opportunities. So if you'd like to be a podcast sponsor, let's talk. You can talk to James about it on your run tomorrow, although this will come out. Jimbo.
That you can just give me a membership card, let me stay whenever I'm here, and I'll shout it out every week on the podcast. The keys to the kingdom will do it.
Yeah. Jesus, my camera's really freaking me out, to be honest.
It is.
People on YouTube are getting motion sickness because it's zooming in and out. I did that even worse. Yeah, okay, cool. What else has been happening, mate? How's the training go? So actually, you have a success story to talk about. I saw the post. I was very happy to read your caption on Instagram last night before I went to bed. You did a little event over the weekend.
I did, yeah. I did a 10K, the Castle Combe Chile 10K, I think it's called, on the racetrack there. And so it was quite smooth running, quite undulating. When someone says racetrack, you kind of think, oh, that'll be flat. But it's flat for cars. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
It's not flat for runners, and you suddenly realize you're going sort of quite prolonged undulations. But yeah, I ran a 42:17 or 10K, which I was quite happy with, which is significantly better than I've done in the last 6 years.
No, I was very happy to hear that. You're right, though, the racetracks, because I know that in Bahrain, when we've done the race of the, you think you're going to ride on the F1, you're like, oh, that'll be good. And then you get on, it's actually quite lumpy. Like I mean, like, I'm not talking about actual proper climbs, but you watch the races on TV and it's just flat. You don't even really think about maybe Austria's like, but then you get on, you're like, oh no, it's actually a bit of elevation on this.
Yeah.
You don't
And
really.
that's what I thought. It was 3 laps of the track, and after the first lap, I was like, no, there are definitely some prolonged uphills and prolonged downhills on this track. But it was good fun. It was driving rain, freezing cold, heavy wind. But yeah, I was pleased with it, because obviously it's the first hit out really over that distance since I've come off my meds, and everything's moving in the right direction, mate. Baby steps, isn't it? Baby steps. How was your half marathon in Singapore?
It was a bit of a disaster, but what a wonderful event. I actually highly recommend anybody in the area who loves Singapore. It was it's definitely worth doing. 4:30 starts a bit grim, mate, to be honest. Yeah, getting up at 2:30 to go for a 4:30 race was a bit rough around the edges, but no, honestly, just a spectacular event. Running through Singapore, literally in the dark. Like, the whole race happened in the dark. Past these iconic buildings, like, running, because you sort of go north up there's a stadium. I don't know how well you know Singapore, but you go up towards the stadium, and when you're up there, you come back and you can see the whole city lit up, and then you go through Gardens by the Bay, and that's got all the beautiful lights in it, and then you cross the river. You're coming back and you can see the Gardens by the Bay Centre, Marina Bay Sands, all the CBD lit up. It was like that alone was really, really great. I had such a good time suffering because I was terrible, had a terrible race, but I want to go back into the full marathon next year. Truly hard race, like, you know, it's not that hot at 4:30 in the morning, but it's humid. And what I really noticed was running through the city in particular, it felt a lot hotter. Because when you get out into the bay or into the gardens and near the water, there was a significant change in the temperature. It was quite pleasant out there, but like as soon as you start running, you're just wet. You know, the humidity just absolutely clings to you. So no, yeah, not the results. Projectile vomiting about halfway through the marathon as a half marathon as I'm running, like, which was not fun. Probably, I think, to be honest, a bit related to the sinus problem I have that I have to get surgery for next year. But yes, I thoroughly enjoyed being. I had a wonderful couple of days there, and then my wife ran the Singapore Marathon on the Sunday, which was I was very, very proud of her. She did really, really well in, like I said, tough conditions. So
Good for her. Good for
yeah,
her.
good weekend. You're going to come do the marathon with me next year. I'm bullying you into it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm perform best. I run cold, man.
The thing,
run
I'm not going there to try to set a PB. Like, I actually love the thought of the challenge of it. Maybe I'm sick, but I love the thought of, because you know you go in there, you're probably not going to set a PB or set the world on fire, right? Because it's so you can just actually just go and you still have a red hot crack, but except it's just going to be quite hard. And I think that maybe doing a triathlons as long as I have, there seems to very much be a movement away from doing hard races. So I like the fact of going, actually, this is going to be a hard event. It's going to be a challenge. There's going to have to be specific preparation for it, and I'm still going to probably suck. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's that weird.
I'm with you. I just think next year for me is the first year I'll have a clear run at things, and I'd quite like to not put myself in a situation that will highly stress the body with heat and marathon at the same time.
Yeah, but it's the end of the year, mate. So you can do all the good stuff early, and then you just like just think about the beers at the finish. Like, that's all I'm thinking about, the beers at the finish, James. Maybe how good those cold beers will taste.
The option can be open for some time.
Certainly will. Let's get into it for this week, mate, because we have a big race coming up this weekend. We have had a few races, but I think the place that I want to start this week, which, to be honest, blew my mind a little bit in a very, very good way, and that is Alex Yee running the second fastest marathon in British history to finish. Was it 7th, I believe, at the Valencia Marathon over the weekend. Absolutely crazy.
Yes. So he ran a
2:06:38.
2:06:38. He finished 7th, which is astounding. That's the fastest ever marathon time by a Brit.
Second, isn't it? I believe it's second.
Second, yeah. Sorry, the fastest ever marathon time by a Brit is Mo Farah's 2:05:11.
Yep.
And he did that at the Chicago Marathon in 2018. So this slots in just behind that. Just ahead of Emil Keres's 2:06:46, the London Marathon last year. So, he was pacing Yee for this race.
Okay.
So, fuck me, man. The guy can run, can't he? And like, he can run for a triathlete to a high enough standard as a Brit to easily qualify for the Olympics.
When you're a runner in the same like conversation or when people are talking about you in the same sentence as Mo Farah, like, I think you're doing pretty well. To be honest, this was crazy, man. We saw he did a one earlier this year, and I can't remember what he did. I think it was 2:11 when he did the marathon earlier. London, it was 2:11, something like that.
I've been lapped by Mo Farah.
I've done a 70.3. We've both done a 70.3 where Mo Farah was doing the run. Yeah.
Did he lap you as well?
Probably not. Probably just I was a good hour ahead of you, so probably not, mate. Definitely did. I was so shit as well. On the run at least. No. So, but yeah, mate. Honestly, there's a few things about this. Firstly, I thought that he would probably improve his time in London. I'd heard him saying he was aiming for like 2:08, and I thought that's always, again, me acting like I know much about running. that's sort of where I would have expected, sub 210, something like that. 206 is crazy. It's just, again, I sometimes think we talked about the 100K race this year. We talk about Hayden's 27, whatever it was this year. And sometimes I think people maybe fail to understand in practical terms how quick that actually is. It's, I couldn't run, I don't think I could probably run 8 kilometer at that pace. Like
What is that pace?
I don't know. Ask, talk amongst yourself. I'll find out.
Yeah, you find out. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a remarkable performance. It was a real exercise in pacing as well. First 10 kilometers in 30:08, halfway point, they were 1:03:30, and
3 minutes per kilometer.
yeah,
3 minutes per kilometer.
What?
Could you do that for 42K? No.
No, I mean, I have recently done an interval session which was 40 seconds. It was many 40-second repeats.
Yep.
And it took me a time within that sesh to get my 40 seconds below 3 minutes a K. You know, the first ones were kind of 3:10, 3:12, and then I gradually worked it down. And then, and I got a few that were under 3K, that were 2 something.
For 40 seconds.
Yeah, and that's me, 40-year-old bold man.
Flat out.
All out 40 seconds. The idea of that 40-second sprint extending any further than that 40 seconds blows my mind. The idea of it extending for 42 kilometers is ridiculous. Imagine it. Oh, he's off. He's not slowing down. He's not stopping. He's going.
So that would literally be at the start of that marathon, you standing next to Alex Yee, you sprinting
As hard as I can for 40
as
seconds.
hard as you can, and he would be running his marathon pace. So that's his tempo pace.
Yeah.
It's
Remember that guy at the London Marathon a few years ago who sprinted out the front just so he could get on TV? He was a good amateur, and he just sprinted the front just so he could wave at the camera. I don't think I've got, in this particular instance, that ability to get ahead of him in me.
Oh.
I would be trying to get out front and he would just be with me. And then I
swallowed instantly, and it wouldn't, let's just say it wouldn't be quite the same as your experience with Javier Gomez swimming.
Wouldn't have dropped him like a stone like I did Gomez.
I think the thing that makes me very, weirdly proud is probably the right term, is like the legitimacy of triathletes again. We talk a lot about how people, often joke, why be good at one sport when you can be mediocre at 3? And we're seeing so many things happen in the last couple of years where triathletes are dropping these fucking performances that are world-class at individual sports. We've seen, Lucy Charles nearly qualifying, or, attempted to qualify for the 1,500 meters at the Olympics. We've seen Taylor Neer go to the Olympics for cycling. Paula Finlay, national TT champion. I still think Joe and his sub-7 pace attempt is probably the world record for 180 kilometers on the bike, although we haven't ever had it officially verified. But there's just these performances that, you can't look at triathlon and go, oh, the sport's like a bit of a, you don't really have to be good at anything. Like it shows the legitimacy when you've got the Olympic champion dropping a world-class marathon time that would enable him to represent Britain at the Olympics. It's great. It's just, it does. It makes me, as a long-time triathlete, it makes me very proud of our sport to see the way as well that the world is reacting to this. I've seen articles where Eliud Kipchoge and Farah and these guys are coming out praising it, rightfully so. It's so good. It's fantastic.
So the big question then, and the question I'm going to put to you, and this is a question that was in the group a bit this week as well.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Is it a case of you can be a double Olympic gold medalist in triathlon, or you can have your gold medal that you've got, switch to marathon, probably, in all likelihood, never win a medal, but have represented your country in 2 sports, which is better?
Yeah, look, unlike you, I love to speculate and I love to put words in other people's mouths. I think you should do the marathon. Like, I truly, I think that where everybody talks about this second gold medal in LA, like it's a foregone conclusion. I have question marks. We've seen athletes that are coming through. It's still 3 years away. You know, there's Henrik Grafs, you know, those guys. I could see the way that they're going. You know, John Reed's running the way that he is. I see that there's this group of athletes it might not just be a foregone conclusion for Alex Yee. You know, what's it going to be his third Olympics? I have question marks over how sure the gold is for him. I'm not to say that, you know, I'm sure that he'd absolutely be a threat and probably would win the gold the way he races. Personally, I'd like to see him go after the marathon. Like, if I was in his shoes, I've already got 2 gold medals. I've been to 2 Olympics. I've won a gold medal at each. The marathon, yeah, I would like to see him pursue the marathon personally. You know, we spoke a lot about the fact that running is booming at the moment. There's a lot more commercial opportunities of running compared, you know, the size of shoe deals we're hearing about for runners compared to triathletes. There's a lot of reasons why you can understand him going to running, and you know, this is a year of running. Imagine what he could, like, I know he runs. This is a year of preparing for a marathon or focus on the marathon. I think another couple of years. Would he be a medalist? Probably not. But fastest Brit of all time, potentially. Fastest Brit at the Olympics, probably. And I still think there's value in that. And yeah, again, I love the curiosity factor of me would be, yeah, I'd love to see we could go there and do, like, I'd probably be more excited about Alex Yee running the marathon in LA than having him go for a second individual gold in the triathlon. But that's just me personally. What about you? What would you rather see?
I agree with you. I
Mm.
think, firstly, there's more money in it. In the first instance, there's more money in it. To back that up even further, he's not far off Mo Farah's time. I know that it's hard to bridge these gaps in running, so I don't underestimate the enormity of making that difference. But if he becomes the level of sponsorship interest he would get in the UK if he switched over to marathon and became the second, almost first fastest Briton over that distance, then amazing. Secondly, like you say, it's a year. He's done a bit of a focus on this, but who knows? I say he will likely never medal, but put all your eggs in this basket. Who knows what he's going to unearth, what abilities he's going to find in himself, and where he could end up. I just think, story wise, it's a great one.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, I know there's something like almost romantic about it to me. There's just this idea of,
Yeah,
you know, I am so impressed. We've seen a lot of athletes try different things in different ways. And I will admit, when I heard Alex was sort of going to focus on running this year, I was a bit disappointed because I've gone from not really liking the way he races, seeing what he did in Tokyo when Vince made that attack, to really being won over by him. Um, I've loved this journey. And again, just the fact that he has done such an incredible performance is just like, we're going to talk about podcast awards later, and he's definitely going to be in the running for me, for something.
yeah.
And
And look, he's got an Olympic medal in triathlon.
two,
2, yeah, yeah. Well, he's got a gold medal in triathlon, is what I mean. And then he's got the ability to hit another one in LA.
yeah,
Is awesome. But if he becomes the fastest Brit over the marathon distance, that holds, in my opinion, a different echo through time.
I suppose the factor that you need to sort of look at it, and again, this is where I don't know anything. You know, I can't put words, but it's what's his taste for going long distance? Because I do think that if he does focus on LA and to go properly all in on LA, he's gonna really have to turn away from triathlon. And do you think that if he does that, and after he wants to get back and maybe start looking at longer distance triathlon, which again, can you imagine a guy who can run a 2:04 marathon coming to Ironman? Um, do you think he'd be able to come back, or yeah, I don't know. I've never really seen him as somebody who would go long, to be honest. The way the race, I've never seen him as that sort of athlete. So,
He's almost too slight, isn't he?
hmm.
Which is strange, because I'm sure they could get over that.
The other, just on the topic, and it's related because they raced each other at was it the Valencia half they did recently as well, and we didn't really talk about the fact that Jimmy Whelan was only like, I think we maybe mentioned it in passing, was only 20 odd seconds behind Alex. Jimmy Whelan was the pro cyclist who switched to triathlon this year, raced Geelong 70.3. I think we sort of expected a lot from him and didn't really deliver on what we were expecting. Has basically turned away from triathlon. And from what I've heard, sounds like he is focusing on running now, running a 61-minute half marathon. Yeah, like he seems to have turned. I feel like I've seen something somewhere where he's basically like, no, I'm going to focus on running because I'm surprised at how good it was. And he was behind Alex Yee. So yeah, it sort of tells me that the level he's at, he's definitely able to pursue running professionally. Yeah, definitely. Duh. Shocker.
Yeah. Well, remarkable. I mean, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see him switch over and really focus on that marathon for LA. But I can understand pure triathlon heads thinking, no, we want to keep him because we want to keep the interest in the sport and we want to see that rivalry with Hayden come to its conclusion in LA. But
it wouldn't. I just, again, I don't see it really as that big of a rivalry, only because I don't think Hayden Wild could beat him. Like that's if it went up in distance, I could understand, non-drafting or whatever, I could understand a scenario in which Hayden is able to get the better of him. But I've said this repeatedly, and I stand by it, that in a short course racing, Hayden versus Alex, he cannot beat him on the run. We saw it. We've seen it so many times. We saw it in Paris. We've seen it, and I think we'll continue to see it. Alex is just as good an athlete as Hayden is, as good a runner as Hayden is. I say this understanding he has run a 27 something 10K. He's not as good a runner as Alex Yee. And unfortunately, short course, that run is just so important. And every single time they race, Alex is on his shoulder or close and then drops him at the last bit. And I don't even see it as a rivalry anymore, to be honest. I just think Alex has Hayden's number 100%. So that to me is, disinterested. And I also question Hayden. Hey, is Hayden going to go for LA? Look at the success he's having at middle distance. I wonder if we'll see him. I don't know. Again, I'm not sure. Not understand. But anyway, anything else?
Yee could get loads of sponsors. He went right. Can you imagine it?
Fucking oath he could.
Yeah.
Short course triathlon is so hard to make a living out of.
Yeah.
Even
he'd get out of sports sponsors as well. He'd have watch brands and banks lining up.
Yeah. Do it, Alex.
Bang. Do it.
I'm sorry. I know most of our patrons disagree with me a lot on this.
Yeah.
Tim Seed in particular was very anti it, so I really appreciated the conversation though, as I always do. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'd love to see Alex going on the marathon. Where should we turn to next? Should we talk about some of the races that happened, mate, before we turn our attention to Qatar? The race to Qatar, the season-long narrative that we saw actually happen in F1. Wasn't it Qatar? No, anyway, should we talk about La Quinta 70 point? La Quinta. Somebody commented about how to pronounce it. I can't remember now, so I'm sorry if we are not pronouncing it correctly. It is the Spanish pronunciation, James. Did you know that?
I saw the comment and I appreciated it. I can't remember what the adjustment was though.
Me neither. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you have the results up for us? Because this was where we saw Lionel Sanders made his return to racing.
On the men's side, Sam Long won it in 3:36.26. Lionel Sanders came second in 3:39.16, and Jackson Laundry came third in 3:39.39. On the women's side, Kirsten Kasper took it in some overall time, which isn't shown here. It's just a series of splits, ahead of Emily Kratz and Anna Butner. Apologies, their overall times are missing from this website.
La Quinta.
So, on the women's side, we both said that Kirsten Kasper was someone to watch and an interesting name to be in this race. And yes, she has taken the win, which is really cool to see.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. A bike of 2:17.32 and a run of 1:19.43. So she really brought it home on that run.
Again, it's the short course, the short course background. Kirsten Kasper's a bigger, stronger athlete. I would expect to do well at middle distance racing. I'm not sure if it's her first, but it's one of her first middle distance races. And like when I saw the result, I was like, yep, good. Like I'm not surprised to see that happen, and I'm very happy for her because I like Kirsten Kasper. So
yeah,
it was very, very good. But the big one, mate.
Good work to Anna Butner though. She ran a 1:14.10 at the end.
Jesus Christ. Amelia Kretz, also second place, another short course athlete. That's the Canadian short course pro who we've seen. I think Amelia had a bit of an injury and has sort of had some ups and downs since, to be honest, Tokyo. So to see her step up to middle distance, Kirsten Kasper's 4:06:08. By the way, I've got the time here. Yeah, crazy. 4:07:37 for second place, 4:08:20 for third place, 4:11:19, and then Jeannie Metz 4:12:36. Now, about this race in particular, I don't know if you heard this story, but from what we saw in the Patreon group, and there's been reports about it, an Ironman golf cart crashed into the women's pro bike rack while they were in the water or something? So they
dislodged all the bikes, broke
some of the bikes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's annoying, isn't it? Apparently they left in drive, not park or something.
We have an award category. We have an award category that we will talk about a bit later that I believe that is a contender for one of the.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
No, really, really good to see that from Kirsten Kasper and Amelia Kretz. The men's race.
So Lionel Sanders was disqualified, no?
Yes, and then he wasn't. Not like Ironman to flip-flop around the rules a little bit. Was it for having his shirt open too much or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
How good is this sport? Like, just
zipper down too low.
Honestly, what a wonderful, professional, easy to broadcast and follow sport this is. Disqualified while his shirt was open too much. Actually, no, we didn't disqualify him. No, it's the bear.
Yes. So he got disqualified while the race was on and told it was disqualified. So he finished anyway and then appealed it, or did he get disqualified afterwards and then reinstated afterwards? Do you know?
No, don't know. Didn't follow there, but wasn't a broadcast race. Only hearing bits and pieces from it. But his return to racing, his swim was 22nd fastest, 25:27. So him and Sam Long swim very close together. I think Sam was only
Sam swam a 25:12.
Yep, it's only 15 seconds difference. They both rode crazy fast, like 1:56, 1:56. You know, again, that deficit basically, so they came together, and then Sam ran 3 minutes faster, 2.5 minutes faster than him, which I think shows Lionel's injury, time away. Sam has done a lot of racing this year. Yeah, really good. 3:36 win for Sam Long. Second place, 3:39 Lionel Sanders. Third place, Jackson Lodry, 2:39:39. Jackson Lodry, an athlete that has always been right up there. We saw him had that win where he beat Alistair Brownlee in a sprint finish in Oceanside a few years ago. Really great to see him back on the podium.
Great to see Lionel Sanders, I think, having a good race, having been out for so long. Was it a sprint finish between Lionel Sanders and Jackson Lodry? I mean, you've got, what, 20-odd seconds between them?
Must have been close. Probably not a sprint finish, but the Canadians doing really, really well there. Sam Long has had a odd year. I'm guessing he's like, we'll get to this instead of the T100 events. I can understand why you'd rather do this than take a trip to the Middle East, but he's got the new baby too. So congratulations, Sam, on the birth of his second child. Yeah, La Quinta. Well done. Great racing. Great to have Lionel Sanders back doing triathlon. The sport is better with your minutes. As many of the people who listened last week let us know, another 70.3 that happened over the weekend. James Bale was in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Bahrain 70.3 happened, and we had a couple win the race, both the men's and women's, in Vincent Luis and George Brown.
I think a couple of podcasters predicted, no?
I think it's probably pretty obvious.
Yeah, on the men's side, Vince Luis took the win in 3:29:08 ahead of Vesco Velasa, 3:31:19 ahead of Peter Heimerich in 3:34:04. On the women's side, Georgia Taylor Brown took it out in 3:51:19. Natalie Van Koerven in 3:53:30.
Natalie Van Koerven, yeah.
India Lee in 3:56:35 rounded off the podium. Georgia Taylor Brown setting a record as well.
Do you like that the fourth place pro female was 4:29:37? So, you know, a casual 40.
Yeah. That's like the difference between me and you last time we raced Bahrain.
She must have had a mechanical or something because she rode 21 minutes slower than the others. So, But yeah, Georgia Taylor Brown, as we said this year, every single race she's done, she's gotten better and better and better. And I'm here for it, mate. I love it.
Yeah,
I love
same.
the
I think
progression.
she's, yeah, it's really good seeing her go up through the gears. She just keeps getting better. And that conversation that you reported having with her, where she said she just wasn't expecting to enjoy it, but is finding the joy in it. You can almost sense that in the way that she's just sort of really embracing the long course and the 70.3 racing and going up through the gears and improving every time. And Vince Luis doing what Vince Luis does. And don't retire, mate. You got another few years in you yet. Fuck's
100%. That was me watching this result. I go, Vince, the answer is simple. Fuck off T100. Just do the Ironman races, mate, because
yeah.
that shorter draft zone suits him so. Mate, he ran a 108. A 108.33 on what is basically, it's a pretty legitimate run course. I think it's like 500 meters short or something, which is pretty standard for most races. But 108.33, he ran nearly 2 minutes faster than Vasco Velasa, an athlete that I would have expected to run there or thereabouts with him. I think the year that Vince won that one-off world title, when it was a sprint one-day race, Vasco was third. Mate, it's, what are we talking? 21.59 swim, which was a faster swim. So then you've got a 1:55.48 bike ride, followed by 1:08.33 run. Like it's crazy. It's crazy how quick that is. Don't retire, Vincent Luis. Please just stop doing T100. Do some Ironman races. Do some 70.3 races. Go for the Pro Series. You and Georgia can travel to all the races together. That'll make us happy. Get your helmets compliant
Everyone will
with the
be
sponsorship
happy.
and
Yeah, exactly. Just keep on rolling, man, and keep changing those tri-suits. Keep changing the helmets. Just keep on
make sure they're compliant with your contracts, mate. That's all I ask.
about that, mate. Don't worry about that. Just
I do worry. It's my job.
awesome. Make him look. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Vince.
Fair enough.
Make him awesome. Don't worry about it. Be fine.
Vasco Velasa. So we had Vasco Velasa, Vincent Luis, but we also had Chase McQueen doing this. Chase, who's Cassandra Regaran's partner. People know short course athlete, extremely strong swimmer too. His run was a fair way off, but that tends to be the case in most short course races he does as well. Finishing in fourth place, he ran a 1:16.32, compared to everyone else who's running like 1:10s, 1:11s, 1:12s. Yeah, mate, it was, it's a great race. Honestly, it's a race that I really recommend to people because it's not what you expect. Bahrain is not what I expected when I went there. I've really enjoyed all the time that I spent there. It's a race I'd definitely love to go and do again. And just maybe they need to announce it a little longer, like give people more than like 2 months notice. Consider the race date now.
Messages from people once it was announced, scrabbling, saying, "Oh, is this race worth doing? Shall I go and do it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Oh, I've only just heard about it." Yeah, just give people a lead in, a run in for it, and they'll be there.
I know. Imagine giving people enough notice to actually book a race and accommodation and airfares and those sort of things. The last race we're going to talk about really before we move on to what's to come was Ironman Western Australia. Happened over the weekend as well. The last Ironman of the year. In the men's race, we had a Brit actually take it out, mate. Cameron Main won with 7:38.26 ahead of Caleb Noble, 7:42.43, and then in third place was Junpai Furuya, 7:43.04, a Japanese pro that I've not heard of before.
Ahead of Nick Thompson.
Mitch Kibbe was there. Sam Appleton in 10th. Who else we got? A few. I know that Matt Burton back in 26th is crazy. Mike Phillips DNF'd because he's racing Qatar this weekend. Didn't want to put himself in the hurt locker. But in the women's race, we also had Fenella Langridge, who we spoke about. That's probably the one to watch. One of the ones to watch. Had a bike crash in the lead up to the race and she just wasn't feeling good. So Fenella's had a really rough year. She had serious surgery at the start of the year, missed a bunch of races, has started to slowly make her way back, and then has a crash just before. So we don't like to see that. Fenella, the speedy recovery, please. But in the first place, so happy to see Lotte Wilms take a win because, again, an athlete that is always up there, such a strong swimmer. Surprise, surprise, she had the fastest swim, 48.09. Fastest by 4:29.23, and then held on with a 3:07 for an 8:30.50 overall time. 15 minutes or 14 minutes exactly ahead of Kate Curran in second place, and then in third place, Anne-Sophie Pierre, who's 8:46.48. Els Visser's final race, 8:52.22 for 5th. And then Charlotte McShane, another short course athlete from Australia that we've, through Super Tri or Super League, was in 4th place with an 8:49.11. That's it.
Cool race, man. Didn't watch
Ironman.
it. Wasn't broadcast. Last Ironman. Congratulations to Els Visser on her career and stepping into a different profession. And well done to the winners, I would say.
I just see there's an S green on the results page here. It couldn't possibly be.
Greenhorn do the race.
No, Sophie Green. So but maybe related. I did see that S green. I thought, oh God, Sean, what's he doing? Yeah. So that's it. That's the end of the Ironman race this year. All Ironman races are now done for 2026. We've done it, James. We've survived. The 2026 Pro Triathlon season is done for the year. That's correct, is it? No more races.
No, it's not. There's one more race.
It's
one more race, and I think it's on a Friday.
Is it? What is it actually?
I think so. Isn't it?
Before we get to that race, before we preview T100.
No, it's not on the Friday.
Qatar. T100 have announced their 2026 race calendar. Have you seen this, mate?
I have seen it.
It's interesting, is the word that I would use to describe this, Jimbo. I've got it in front of me. They finally announced what races are happening when, which races are male races, which races are female races, and which races, for some reason, are WTCS races. We have got on the 21st to the 22nd of March, Gold Coast T100 is a pro women's race. Then in Singapore on the 25th and 26th of April, we have a pro men's race. Then on the 23rd and 24th of May, we have Spain T100, pro women's race. Then on the 6th to the 7th of June, we have San Francisco T100, pro men's race. Then on the 25th and 26th of July, we have London T100, which is a pro WTCS race, which still confuses me. Vancouver T100 is on the 15th and 16th of August, pro women's race. 19th to the 20th of September, French Riviera T100 is a pro men's race. Dubai T100 happens on the 12th to the 15th of November, pro women's race. Then November doesn't specify when. Saudi Arabia T100 is a pro men race. And then 11th to the 12th of December is the Qatar T100 World Championship final.
I wonder what drove them to put Saudi Arabia as the men's race.
I was wondering the same thing. I can't possibly think of a reason for that. Yep, it's good to see them.
Why is the London T100 Pro WTCS race on this list?
I'm guessing that this is probably the age group races. I would assume. That's the only thing that makes sense to me is they have the age group race. So there's going to be a pro race as well. And that's why at London, it's an amateur T100 race, but there's also a WTCS. But it does feel weird. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 4, 6, 10. 10 events. 9 of which are WTCS. 8 WTCS actual races with the grand final, and then a random WTCS event in there as well. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about New Zealand?
Very similar to my thoughts previously, but I mean, look, one of our complaints was that dates weren't locked in early. So on the face of it, they've got these dates locked in early, apart from the Saudi Arabia race. So right now, we just have to assume these dates aren't going to change, and we're not going to play musical chairs like we did last season. So let's hope that's the case.
Yeah, we will. I think we will.
No, we got to give them that benefit.
No, I disagree. We actually don't. What we can do is base it on past experiences, and past experiences dictate that actually this is very much subject to change. You have to earn the benefit of the doubt a little bit. And I actually think at the moment, based on how things have been for the last 2 years, they don't earn the benefit of the doubt. They get the benefit of like, probably things are going to be very different to what they say on that list. Sorry to like actually massively disagree.
We'll see. Anyway, let's hope these dates don't change. It'll give people a chance to book time off, book holidays, which is the same thing as booking time off. I don't know why I said that in 2 different ways. Book flights.
I rattled you with my disagreement.
I'm done. Head's gone. They can schedule flights. They can get themselves out to wherever they're going to do. They can arrange their year around the training, because he's going to have age group races embedded in them, which people are going to then gear their years around, hopefully. From their perspective, they want people to do that, so don't change the dates. And yeah, I'm still disappointed that the men and women aren't racing on the same weekends. I'm pleased that they're not expecting any women to go to Saudi Arabia. I'm not. I'm upset they're going to Saudi Arabia, but if you're gonna do it, don't force women to go there, because I think it just undermines everything.
But I do think this shows, and again, I know I'm not saying anything that I think people don't realize. It definitely shows where the opportunities exist in sport at the moment. The fact that we have 3 of these races are in the Middle East is because that's where there's money to put on races like this at the moment. This isn't a triathlon thing. I've been watching a lot of boxing highlights on YouTube while I've been training lately, and a lot of the recent fights are in Saudi Arabia. And I think it is just, this is where the cash is. So this is where the events are going. Whether it's going to work for a mass participation model, I don't know. But they have to have somebody help them put on the events. So I understand it. But yeah, I just see it and it's like, yep, it is what it is. It's another season. I don't feel particularly excited about it. I don't feel like, I'm happy to see San Francisco's back on that list. Singapore, I really love as a race. Like, again, I love Singapore. I've enjoyed doing that race myself. Do I want to do any of those races as an amateur? If it's going to cost as much as it did this year, probably not. Singapore would be the exception, but certainly not going to be traveling to Saudi or Qatar to do an age group race. Maybe Dubai I would be interested in, but again, at nearly 800 Australian dollars, probably not, plus all the travel. So, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I hope the season goes well.
Will you go back to London? Will you do the T100 event in London this year?
Not if it's
Next
not
year?
got a pro race associated with it, because firstly, it means I won't have anybody racing there, which is always a reason to go. Secondly, I like watching the pro racing, whether I've got someone racing there or not.
WTCS?
And thirdly, I just mean I like watching the T100 racing.
He's a purist. He's a purist, guys.
Thirdly, though, if it's just me, if it's just about me and I'm racing, then London's a very expensive place to go for a weekend.
Yeah. And it's not the best. Oh, age group is going to the city. Yeah, maybe
the age group bike course is really good, and I will keep drilling that into people. The age group bike course is excellent. Just because you see the pro course on the TV, that ain't what you ride. You ride a full circuit into the centre of London. It's brilliant.
I definitely think that venue.
Hope you do. I still do. Hope they haven't changed it.
The venue suits the WTCS race better because of the nature of racing, but yeah, they have to do something so it's not just construction zones. Anyway, it's time, mate. The thing we have been building to all year, the season-long narrative is coming to a head this weekend in Qatar. The grand final is upon us. James Bale, are you ready, mate? Are you ready to see the whole story of the 2025 season complete?
Of course.
I've got the start list, mate, if you want.
Go for it. So have I in front of me, but I'll let you lead on this.
I'm going to Tripole Athlete on Instagram, of course, because they are the go-to resource for start lists. Why would you go for a start? Why would you? Why would you bother when they do such a great job, make it so easy for us? Contracted athletes on the start list: Martin Van Riel, Rico Bogan, Matisse Magerier, Peter Heinrich, Yuri Kulin, Yella Gaines, Mika Newt, Gregory Barnaby, Nicholas Mann, Mino Coolhouse, Jason West, Vincent Luis, Morgan Pearson, Hayden Wild, and then we have a series of wildcards: Henry Rapaport, Mike Phillips, Willem Hirsch, Julien Montiel Moreno, Jonas Schomburg, Sam Dickinson, Caleb Noble. Men's race. Let's start with the men's race because I think the season's pretty much done. I don't really see there being too much drama that can unfold at this event. I think that Hayden Wild is probably going to win it overall. What do you think? How do you think this men's race is going to unfold in Qatar?
I think overall season-long narrative, mate. There isn't much to be taken from this race. Hayden is, on the men's side, Hayden's going to wrap it up. We're not going to see a huge amount change in terms of the placings and positionings. But what I would like to see is a race, an individual race where a couple of these guys get to take it to Hayden and perhaps beat him. Because I'd love to end the season with a race that demonstrates he's beatable at the T100, so that going into next year we've got at least a little crumb of uncertainty on the table.
Who do you think are the people that could do that? Who are the people?
No, he's going to spank everybody. Isn't he? Yeah. The people that got to do that are Martin Van Riel, Carl Smith, Rico Bogan.
Carl Smith's not racing.
Carl Smith isn't racing. Then Martin Van Riel, Rico Bogan.
Do you think Yellow Gaines is going to go there to try to win it, or is he riding the high of his 70.3 world title and this doesn't matter anymore?
Oh, that's you're straying into speculation territory, mate.
No, I'm trying. I always try. You can always see I'm trying to get you to step out of your comfort zone a little bit.
There's two questions in there. I mean, there's two answers to that. I would imagine as a pro athlete in his last race of the season, he will be going all in on this race. The question is whether his body is recovered and in that position to go all in on this race after the 70.3 Worlds, because in the season he's had. So that's the thing. I can't imagine. He will give everything he's got. It's what he's got that's in question.
I don't know if this is true, but I believe he came back to Australia after Marbella and has gone, but he was in the Middle East last week for Bahrain. So he's there. Yeah, I see Yella as the obvious who could rattle or, stick it to Hayden, as we've seen him, sort of is the only person has done in the last 12 months, really, at 70.3 Worlds in Topol last year. But I don't see it this year. This is clearly Hayden's main focus. Yella's main focus was clearly 70.3 Worlds. Martin Van Riel, I think we could see there or thereabouts, but we just haven't seen him have an answer for Hayden this year. And other than that, yeah, I don't see a lot of, I think this is just pretty much going to be the Hayden Wild show and then a bit of a battle for the rest. Hayden is so far clear on points that, yeah, in terms of season-long narrative, I think it was sort of decided a while ago. And Hayden, very, very great athlete. I think he's going to get nominated for a few awards for next week's episode. But, yeah, I just think he's going to dominate this. And I think he's going to be angry. Like, I think a few people are going to be a bit angry about what happened in Qatar, and it'll be interesting to see how they approach this race. I've not really watched any of the pre-race stuff or anything like that. I see there's a Hayden documentary thing coming out that I'm a bit over triathlon content, to be honest, Dubai. Here we go. Men's race. Women's start list. Have you got that there, mate? Do you want to go through it, or do you want me to go through it?
You can go through it, mate.
Okay, so start list: Ashley Gentle, Julie Derrin, Lucy Byram, India Lee, Imogen Simmons, Paula Finlay, Lucy Charles-Barclay, Els Visser, Grace Theck. Els Visser? Yeah. Grace Theck. I thought Els' last race was... Anyway. Grace Theck, Ellie Salthouse, Caroline Pole, Hannah Berry, Holly Lawrence, Taylor Spivey, Jess Limont, Kate Waugh, Megan McDonald, Georgia Taylor-Brown, Leanna Bissig, Sarah Perez-Sala, Lisa Peterier, Kaidi Kivjova, Hannah Devet, Didi Diedrichs. This race is a little bit more open, mate.
Yes, it is, because the season-long narrative is open as well, isn't it? So who's going to win the T100? And it all comes down to this race on the women's side, which is kind of what we were hoping for and what they were hoping for 100%. When it says the road to Qatar or whatever they call it, you want it to be open-ended and to come down to this race, and whoever has the skills on the day takes the win.
Disappointed no Taylor Nibb, to be honest.
Yeah, it is disappointing no Taylor Nibb in this race, but she's probably concluded that she's not part of that trio that can win this. So maybe she needs extra recovery. Maybe she just is done for the season. It is fucking December, mate.
I know, it's been a long, long, long year for all these athletes. I think they're also, again, as fans, I'm feeling the fatigue. So I'm sure they are, as actual athletes, are racing it now. The top three, or the three that you spoke about, I think we've got Kate Waugh, Lucy Charles-Barclay, and Julie Derrin, I believe, are the three that can really sort of, fight for the victory. Of those three, what do you see happening?
I think Lucy Charles-Barclay is going to dominate this race.
So do I. The only question mark I have is that they've spoken about the heat. I've heard a few people say it's quite hot there. I don't know if that's true, if that's just an assumption people have about the Middle East. I'm never quite sure because I know Bahrain hasn't been that hot when we've been there. Wonder if heat will maybe make her just be a little bit cautious after what happened in Hawaii. I don't know. I don't expect it. I think Lucy's going to be great. You know, Kate is very good in the heat. We've seen her win races in hot conditions, Singapore, Phuket. And then Julie, I think Julie beating Kate in Dubai the way she did, you know, very comfortably on the run and actually having that incredible bike where she at the end of basic came off the bike together. I think that would give Julie a lot of confidence. But then you've also got these athletes who maybe not in the chase for the podium, but I still think are going to impact the race. Georgia Taylor-Brown, as we said, has been on this trajectory. I think that the confidence she will have after the last few rounds is going to be really good for her. Jess Limont going from strength to strength, definitely going to be a swim bike powerhouse, and we'll see what her run is. Will impact the race, will be with that group of Kate and whoever, Lucy, etc. at the front. I just think that Lucy's Lucy, and it feels like everything falling into place this year. She's probably going to be the one to win it. Whether she will care about it as much as somebody like Kate, because Kate has gone all in on the T100 this year. I think it's basically the only thing she's done compared to Lucy, who's got a 70.3 world title, who, you know, nearly won a Kona world title. If it comes down to it, how much is she really willing to suffer? It's Lucy. We know how much. We've seen it. That would be the only sort of thing, but I don't see anybody beating Lucy. Like, to me, Lucy is going to win this thing.
Yeah, I agree. She was on the BBC News front page, sports front page today, actually, which doesn't happen often in triathlon. So really good to see that. It was talking about her recently discovering she's celiac and how that change and that knowledge has made her a better athlete. And I think you know, it's really going to decode things for her. And if she keeps going up through the gears, because she's got more gears than we thought she had, she was good anyway, and now she's just going to get better. And I can really see her doing well in this race and putting a stamp on the season.
Do you have the current stand-ins in front of you, or are you able to get those? Because I would like to understand the scenarios. But basically, I think at the women's race, whoever wins, wins. Like, it's not going to be one of those scenarios where if, you know, Julie wins, but Kate comes second. And like, I hope we don't end up with, I hate those scenarios. I think it's so boring. Or maybe like overwhelming is a better way of saying it. But I think it's based on the women, whoever wins, wins. And I think Hayden is going to have to go really bad not to win the thing. Any luck? If not,
their
matter.
website is not looking.
Don't worry about it. We'll find something else.
Easy answer at the moment.
Well, look, that's fine. People, I'm sure, can do some of their own independent research. I'm sure they'll be talking about it on the broadcast.
So the standings are, Kate Worth leading on 128, Julie Derrin in second on 122, and Lucy Charles-Barclay third on 119, ahead of Ashley Gentle on 107.
Yeah, so it's basically whoever one of those wins, because it's extra points or something.
Hayden Wild on the men's side has obviously got 140, with Yellow Gaines 122 and Mika Newt 113.
Mika Newt, again, we just don't ever really mention, and I don't understand why, because he's always there or thereabouts. But I think he's even said it would take something for Hayden to go wrong for him to win a race. And again, I think as soon as athletes start thinking that, it's pretty hard for them. But yep, Qatar, it's happening. You know what else is happening, James? Do you know what else is happening? Because people think this is the end of it. This is the end of the big events in triathlon. But there is one more big event in triathlon happening this year, and that is, of course, the Talking Triathlon Podcast Awards, the premier triathlon award.
Everyone's been waiting for
the premier triathlon awards.
December, I would say,
mate. Honestly, I've had having so many of the pros asking for the nominees, asking for who to announce the nominees. They need to prepare their campaigns. They want to start lobbying for the votes. They want to get in the heads of the people. They want to win over the crowd. But ultimately, mate, we're the judges, and we're open to bribes. So if you are interested, feel free to, I don't know, send us a bike or some shoes or whatever. Apparently, James will take a free hotel room. What I have done, Jimbo, is, because I forgot about this until about half an hour before we record, I have done some of the nominees, but I'm sure that there are things I've forgotten. And I thought we would go through and we could discuss the nominees. We're not going to give our votes yet, but we'll just generally talk about the nominees for each category. And if there's anybody you think I need to add, tell me, and I will add them. And then we'll open the votes up to our patrons basically tomorrow. So, Jimbo, do you remember the categories, or do you want me to go through the categories first?
I go through the categories first. Remind me.
Remind you. So we have the following categories are available for Talking Triathlon Podcast Awards: Female Triathlete of the Year, Male Triathlete of the Year, Racing Moment of the Year, Triathlon Non-Racing Moment of the Year, Race of the Year, the Lionel Award for chucking a Lionel, the most controversial award that people always get angry about, the What the Fuck Moment of the Year, and then the most exciting moment of the year. We used to have more. We used to have like non-triathlon person and triathlon media person, all this stuff. We got rid of all that for efficiency. But Jimbo, let's start with the Female Triathlete of the Year, and I will tell you who I've listed currently. The Female Triathlete of the Year nominees that I came up with are Lucy Charles-Barclay, Kat Matthews, Lisa Tersch, Kate Waugh, Solveig Loveseth, Julie Darren. Is there anybody that I have not put on that list that you think should be on there?
Go again.
Lucy Charles-Barclay, Kat Matthews, Lisa Tersch, Kate Waugh, Solveig Loveseth, Julie Darren.
Georgia Taylor Brown?
Georgia was one I thought of, but hasn't really, like, most of these have won something very...
Yeah, I know. Yeah, she isn't really, she's just got better as the years gone on.
Like, I wouldn't vote for Georgia, so she'd be there just for the sake of it, I think.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, no, I think that's a solid list.
Okay. Thank you.
No
the Male Triathlete of the Year: Casper Stornes, Christian Blumenfeld, Hayden Wild, Martin Van Riel, Matt Hauser, Yella Gaines. How does that seem to you?
That sounds like a good list, mate.
Only one I was not sure about was maybe Martin. Maybe replacing Martin Van Riel with maybe a Jonas Schomburg.
Schomburg. He would be there for the similar reason that Georgia would be. Yeah, no, I'd keep it as it was.
Okay. So far I've done well. Racing Moment of the Year. Some of these I'm curious about because that doesn't belong on. Anyway, Kona, the women's run in Kona, I think was, and instead of going like the specifically, like I think that whole run was just, to be honest, that whole race was exceptional. But the run in Kona with Lucy DNFing, then Taylor DNFing, then Solveig pushing, then Kat trying to catch. I thought that whole thing was exceptional. Racing moment. The men's 70.3 World Championship sprint finish, another incredible racing moment of the year. I have the three-way run battle at the women's Tier 100 London, where we had Kate, Lucy, and I think Taylor together, shoulder to shoulder, and the way those things changed, that was pretty exciting. I've got the Kat Matthews DNF in Marbella because, again, that was a very, obviously, really sorry, Kat, that it happened, but it was pretty important to the race. That was a very defining moment of that race. So I thought that was worth nominating. I've got for Lisa Tersch beating Beth and Cassandra to win not just the Wollongong WTCS, but also the World Championship. What do you think of that one? Any others? Any other moments you can think of that you think should be on the
men's run in Nice?
Yep. Okay. I'll put the men's run.
Yeah.
Nice.
Men's run in Nice.
That's pretty good, right? Yeah.
Just the way that it was a proper race. Watching Kasper do what he did, watching Gustav and Christian duke it out. Christian hobbling across the finish line at the end because he's obviously emptied the tank beyond all reasonable doubt.
I'm just trying to think if there's any little moments we've forgotten. Like, was there another really exciting little race where we're just like, there was that sprint finish at Almere, the Challenge Almere, the European Championships, where. But again, I wouldn't pick it. Like, it was great, but it would just be nominated. I mean, my winner's coming out of that list.
Yeah.
So I think
I'd keep that list as it is. We don't want too expansive lists.
We do always add there is always the other option. So our voters can add options if they think of them. So that's the thing we do with this list. The next category is triathlon non-racing moment of the year. So the current nominees I have is Imogen Simmons with everything that happened to her this year. Alex Yee's 206 marathon. I understand it's racing, but it's like not triathlon racing, so that's why I've put it there.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And then that's all I have. So
interesting. Non-racing moments of the year.
yeah. Any like real like weird, exciting, interesting. Probably interesting is the way to put it. Interesting things that have happened this year. Does anything come to mind? I'm sure there's been plenty.
Yeah. I think the Imogen Simmons is up there. That just keeps popping into my head, but it's already on the list. Have we had any other doping related stories? Not really this year, are we?
No, I think look, we'll come back to there'll be more solutions to that one for people when you'll find it next week what they are. Race of the year. Men's that one doesn't belong, it's last year. Women's Ironman World Championships, men's 70.3 World Championships, women's WTCS Grand Final, men's Ironman World Championships, Challenge Roth. Are there any others you can think of that were really great races this year?
Nice.
It's on there. Men's Ironman World Championship.
Sorry. Oh, yeah, of course.
It will just be there for the sake of it, right? Like I think the winner's going to come from that list.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so that's fine. We then have the Lionel Award for chucking a Lionel. Now, for people who don't understand what this award is, it is basically for somebody who kicks an own goal, who does something where you're just like, what the fuck are you doing, mate? And that's because Lionel has so often gone vegan or changed something or done.
It's gonna be. Yeah. What was it I told you last week? He's fueling solely with spinach or something, didn't
Something like that. He's gone green. Okay. So the current nominees I have are the T100 for Dubai, just everything. I think that's definitely a Lionel Award. Ironman missing the sprint finish in Marbella, also a Lionel Award.
Yeah.
Ironman's changes to the age qualification. The outrage that caused in the WhatsApp group, I think is the Lionel Award. Hayden Wild, I've just put shoes, water bottle, the video, Dubai. I think there's lots of things for lot of Lionel things for Hayden this year. I then also got Hayden Wild trying to race WTCS after T100. That really felt like a Lionel Award to me. Like, you know, just when he was so far back, it didn't really. And then Lionel Sanders rediscovering the importance of fueling, just because we have to include Lionel Sanders every year. Has to. And
you mean we're meant to think about a fueling strategy?
Yeah, I know. And then pro triathletes and their T100 contracts.
Yeah. But what about the Golf Cup?
Golf Cup, I think we'll go what the fuck moment of the year.
Okay, all right.
Any other Lionel? Any other people who've done a Lionel where you're just like, what are you doing, mate? Like last year, I think we had Anne Haug who didn't race. Anne Haug was nominated because she didn't race a T100 race and then raced an age group 70.3 instead.
No, I think you've covered all those big fuck ups.
Okay. What the fuck moment of the year? Hayden Wild's extra lap in Dubai T100. Morgan Pearson T100 Dubai. Hayden Wild finish line video, the shoes where he was recorded basically saying, I know they're illegal, but nobody checks.
Yeah.
Taylor Nibbs, DNF in Kona. Again, I think that was a bit like, what the fuck? Like wasn't positive. It was really like crazy. Laidlow running right into the front of the race in Nice after nearly pulling out in the swim. Laidlow's 7:29 in Roth after 11 hours of training a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Magnus Ditlev penalty, non-penalty in Frankfurt. Anything else?
I'm thinking.
It'll do. That'll do. That's enough.
Can we include the publishing of the T100 calendar and then just the changing and the moving and all of that? That's just
yes. I'm going to put
what
T100 calendar. I'll add. And then we have the last one is the most exciting. Actually, no. Where is it? Yeah, most exciting moment of the year. So I'm guessing we'll have Cat Chase in Solvay. We'll have the sprint finish between Yella and Christian. We'll have, what else will we have?
Those are the 2 most exciting moments of the year.
Okay, I'll come up with a list. So what we will do for people who are playing along, our patrons, we'll put this up in the WhatsApp group the same day that this episode goes live. You'll have a week to vote. Next week, me and James will get together on the show. We will wrap up Qatar and we will go through the awards where we will vote. We will get to a consensus. And if we do not agree, the votes will be the deciding vote and we will then crown our choices for the podcast awards. Jimbo, we're done. That's it for this week. Second last episode of the year. We are going to now stop recording this episode and go and start our bonuses because we take a bit of a break over Christmas, mate. And what do we do so people can continue to listen while we're not here?
We record 4 bonus episodes, which for the 4 weeks that we are off gives you a weekly supplement of triathlon insight if you want it. You can either save them all up and listen to them in one go before the season starts, or you can listen week in, week out as they're released. It just fills the gap while we're away.
Patreon.com/Talking Triathlon. Sign up for, again, it's 2 months, I suppose, December, January. You'll get them all. You get access to all the other episodes. There's over 20, I think, bonus episodes we've done as well. So you can get them all. Feel free to cancel if you don't want to continue after that's over. But yeah, basically it means you still get content every single week. If you're a patron, we're taking a month off. This is the second last episode. Last week will be the last episode of the year. And then we'll be back the week starting January 19. So I'm looking forward to it, mate. Jimbo, if people want to find out more about Talking Triathlon, where do they need to go?
If you want to support the show, jump on at patreon.com/Talking Triathlon. If you want to follow Team, visit tford14 on Instagram, and I'm at bale.james85 on Instagram. We are on Instagram as at Talking Triathlon. If you want to join the Patreon group, you get access to the monthly bonus episodes and the social group, and you'll get all of these additional bonus episodes, which we're going to put out in the WhatsApp group. Keeps the sport alive, certainly during the Christmas period as well. There's little conversations that will go on. It's not overwhelming. Don't worry. If you're not a patron and you want to leave a comment, then YouTube's the place to do it.
That's it, Jimbo. A pleasure as always, guys. Thank you for listening. I'm going to beat you. No, I've already conceded the endurance picks, so I think you've got that one in the bag. We'll be back next week, guys. Thank you, James. Talk to you later.
Cheerio.